Hello, this is ZDs. Welcome back to another Mario Maker 2 video, clearing more Uncleared 2020 levels. At this point, there's only like 1,500 left, as this might be the last 2020 video. I'm not quite sure. The levels are taking me a much longer time. This first one, in fact, took me 2 hours total. It's, yeah, 200 something tries already before I start. This is a Kaizo level, a shell jump level, in low gravity. Sky at night theme. I have done low G shell jumps before. They're not easy, they're not common. I haven't done them for a long time. I remember somebody making one in the Facebook community, and I beat it after very many struggles. But that was a long time ago, and I haven't done it in a while. The first couple of tricks aren't shell jumps. After this, everything's a shell jump, though. The first trick is pretty standard. Throw up, no problem there. Second one, you have to throw a shell up into those on-off switches, grab it, and then throw it to the right and land in that spot to the right there. And it took me a few tries to figure this out. Almost hit it twice there. Honestly, the solution isn't that hard. I get pretty close there. The solution is to throw it up and then jump afterwards. I did end up booing this level, and you'll see pretty early on why. But this is, I'm very proud to have beaten it. It took me a long time, many lives. It's a very long level with no checkpoint, and shell tricks that most of the time, if you mess up, you can't reset. So it looks like you can reset here, and he trolls you and he kills you, and while it's very early in the level, I did end up booing it because I was like, stop being a jerk. Sometimes trolls in Kaizo levels are acceptable, I think. I don't know, that one just felt cheesy. I would probably take back the boo, though. You can reset the room, though, if you go through the pipe. So I don't know why he even I sped this up just to show you how hard it was for me to figure out how to do these shell jumps. It just took me forever to figure out. But what it turns out that you really need to do is you need to be already falling when you throw the shell, which is not the way you do a normal shell jump. You usually throw it at the peak, I think. I think that's how you're supposed to do it, of your jump. You have to throw it late when in low grav. And yeah, here's me just dicking around for a whole, like the entire clock, which I think is 500 seconds. I'm pretty sure it's at 500 seconds. Yeah. I do have other problems with this level. It's kind of the same thing over and over again. And I also cheese it a little bit too. We'll see that later. I did edit this one normally, and I kept a lot of failures and showed each part. And I will show the whole run, which I probably shouldn't have done because it's such a slow level, but I just want you to appreciate how meticulous and long this level is. But I'm spending a long time on this level. It's kind of the highlight of this video. Although all 5 of the levels I include today are extremely hard. But yeah, I'm spending like more than a third of the video on this one level. So honestly, the later ones I just have the clear, but a lot of the later ones are just extremely long levels that I don't want to go part for part. You might as well just see the clear. I slowed down again because I got the shell jump finally, and I have like 32 seconds left. And then, of course, I'm not going to get the second shell jump. I threw it way too early. But yeah, eventually I got really, really good at this. And the timing, it just took me a long time to get down, but I got it. One thing I was doing to... You have to be dropping just a little, and then you throw it, and then you do a turn back, which I do normally for shell jumps too, a lot of the time. But yeah, it kind of lets you hover over the shell. So I drop it a little, I do a little turn back. So yeah, so this first room, with the shell jumps, you have to get the 2 shell jumps. After that, they kind of take off the training wheels, though. There are some places where you can reset, but not as much. This, once I jump to the, well, so I assume that I have to go up to the left, because there's an indicator there, so I'm like, speed it up. It's taking me a while. You know, left-handed shell jumps aren't super easy, but I got it pretty quick, probably 3 or 4 tries. And then, you want to go to the, and I stupidly didn't reset the beetle, and he wakes up in my hand. But, so here's a moving shell jump. It took me, this one killed me a lot. You really have to jump in the right spot and throw it in the perfect spot. It's very easy to mess that up. And then, of course, I get to this, and there's a shell jump from a claw, which isn't any different than the other shell jumps that I already did, but of course I messed it up the first time I saw it. This room is where everyone's run ended, because so I assume what you're supposed to do, and I tried to reset this. Guess what? He didn't set up these beetle shells very well, at least for reset. Maybe he didn't want you to reset at this point. But you need to use vine blocks, because vine blocks reset every time you know, exit a room. I'm looking to see if I can salvage this in some way. But what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to shell jump off the right wall, catch this other guy, and then do a flying, forward-moving shell jump off the next right wall. But what I eventually figured out is if I shell jump to the left and I waited for this beetle to wake up, he's very slow, and I could bounce off of him. So I cheesed that. Slope shell jump. I just followed the indicators. It worked pretty well. Now we have 2 left-leaning ones. There's a couple other things that are in this level. But I do fail right here, and we're going to do the whole run after this, because there's only a couple more parts. And I died, you know, at every section. You can't reset this. If you've messed it up, it's too late. This guy did have a harder, an easier version of this with checkpoints. And this is the master version, I guess. I don't know. It said the hard version. Yeah, I actually, after beating this, I was so good at it that I wanted to beat that to get the world record. The world record, by the way, is like 35 minutes. But I didn't do it very quickly, so I'm like, we don't need it. And also the clear rate was like 1 out of 1,000 tries, which, spoiler alert, I don't take that many lives. So there's a little over 300 tries when I started this level. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of this cheese. I tried to cheese it in a couple other spots too, but this is the one that works. Beetle wake up jump. I learned that in the last video. I knew it, but you know, I used it a lot in the last video. That's probably why I thought of it. But yeah, this level did take me about 2 hours total. I thought I wasn't gonna. I kept getting really close. The last room is kind of a pain too. So here's where we haven't seen. This is another moving shell jump to the left. The indicator's very on point there. So this room, I did die here like maybe 4 or 5 times. So that coin is the only spot where you can get up. So I'm gonna just hit all these other invisible coins. And it took me a long time to figure out how I was to do this. And I thought maybe I didn't have to shell jump at all. But you just need to shell jump and drift to the left. There are a couple like yeah, I'm like, well, yeah, I wanted to tape. I'm like, I want that Yoshi. But I'm not going to shell jump because I don't want to risk dying at this point. I said I could probably do this. We're going to get the star too, of course. I figured I got this far. I doubted anyone was actually beat. Although there were several players, I think, from Team 0% who were working on this one. I don't know if they were working meticulously or if they had given up, but they had played it. I think I beat his upload time by quite a bit, too. I was super happy to beat that. Feeling a little guilty about booing it for that one little troll, especially since it's so early in the level, but it's just so cheap. It looks like a reset. You know, it looks like he's trying to let you reset, but... So, yeah, I mean, I don't know, it took me 100 lives maybe? I don't know. I didn't look that carefully. Second level, Corto Pero Inferno. I don't know what that means. Something cut Inferno. Okay, I don't know what Pero means. Cut. Corto is cut. Dangerous cut? Is that dangerous? Anyway, this is, I don't know what to say about this level. I don't like it very much. The boo, I do boo it. I'm not super upset about that, or not super feeling guilty about that. It's not a terrible level. It's kind of a cheap level, though. I'm not a big fan of all these sound effects. There's a lot of sound effects, especially early on. There's a couple of, like, parts that are extremely tight and difficult in a way that's obnoxious more than, you know, fun. This part is not that hard, but it did take me a few minutes. The one thing I have to realize, it took me a minute, is if you kill one, you can avoid going back. You want to avoid the bones, but if you knock the one down to the behind you, he's not going to be able to hit you with a bone. He throws the bone over your head, so you don't have to worry too much about that. So yeah, just wait for them to throw the bone. Yeah, if you're uncareful, you'll bounce right off them and nail the spike. So we got the checkpoint. There is a checkpoint, thankfully. One common theme in today's levels is that people don't like checkpoints. There's one that I couldn't beat. That was like a series of survival rooms. There were like 7 of them, and no checkpoint in between them, and it was just so painful to have to keep going through it. I eventually, after I got to like the 4th one, I didn't even know there were that many. This is the part that just drove me nuts. The jump to the spike is actually what I ended up booing it for, because I didn't like that. It was just kind of cheap. But this, and I show a pretty quick success, but I must have died on these P blocks 50 times at least. It's a super tight. And this is actually the win, because I did die here a few times. And there had actually been somebody who had made it this far before. Final room is super cheap. But I had looked in the program at this point. You know, I think all the levels where there are dev items are probably cleared by now. But yeah, that was hard. I died on that last jump a few times too. You have to line yourself up with that wall. That's a hard jump. Yeah, if you don't know you're coming through the door and bouncing off something, you're gonna die for sure. So yeah, the record's 24 minutes, 25 minutes. Yeah, it's not 24 and a half minutes. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that level. Boo is maybe a little much. But you know, if something pisses me off, I don't care. Here's a kind of a decent level. This is actually the only one I don't boo this video. And this is like only going to be the clear, first of all. This is the kind of level I usually don't like. I don't mind this one. I think he keeps the design very consistent. It's only like a few items. I saw one of my fellow 0% guys clearing 2020 levels, Little Wiener. His channel is great if you want to check that out. Just played a almost identical level to this, but it was way more spammy. Had a lot of like Koopa kids shooting magic and stuff. I much prefer this as just skewers, saws, and some burners. And I don't, you know, I've complained about burners before, but they're used pretty well here. This level is slow. It's painful to play this level. If you die long in, you have to go through the whole thing again. But you know what? I was never bored of it. I was never super annoyed by it. I always felt like the gameplay was suspenseful, and there's not so much on the screen that it was annoying me. It was just enough where I could keep my eyes on everything. Oh, there's some fire bars too. I forgot about that. Yeah, there's enough on there where it's not overwhelming. It's not spammy exactly, and everything is. You got to know where these saws go and where the hitboxes, where they're gonna end. Same thing with that fire. There aren't that many fire bars. There's only like 3 of them, I think. 4 of them, maybe. You got to know, you know, there's probably more than one way to do this. I will say that I didn't give this a like, and that's because there are a couple of places where there's some spawn jank. Sometimes these saws can spawn in a way where you can't avoid them. There's one place in particular early on that I died several times because I got in a pattern that it just didn't work. But I like that you can jump. A lot of people would make a level like this that would be like one of those don't leave the ground levels. That would have been god awful. But yeah, you can dodge things by jumping. You have to be able to judge the momentum. Yeah, you definitely didn't want to see multiple tries of this. But yeah, this level, oh, there's a ghost up there too. I forgot about him too. He's not very dangerous though. I guess if you didn't notice him, he could come out pretty fast, because he does have wings. But he's easy enough. If you turn around once in a while and face him, he's not too bad. Another reason I didn't like this is that there is a Kaizo block at the end of this conveyor. I did not hit it though because I saw the program. I thought I was gonna fall off the cliff there. I thought I wouldn't make that jump. But if you edge jump off of that conveyor, you hit a Kaizo block, which is kind of cheap. Again, one other reason I didn't like it, but it is a pretty good level. It was a good challenge. It didn't beat me down like some of these other levels did. And yeah, it was just an okay level. Not bad. The level that follows though is just atrocious. And I'll tell you, this is 100% because no checkpoints. Mega Man 2 Woodman stage, honestly not a very hard stage in Mega Man 2, I don't think. Everyone knows you go get the fire guy's power up first. You kill Woodman in like 3 shots, I think. The level here is not terrible, although remember there's like a robot wolf that shoots fire in an arc, and I think that's kind of what this represents. The munchers are basically his power, his energy. Anyway, this stuff it's not terrible. Nothing is terrible in this level until the end. But it's super long. There's no checkpoints. And then you get to just an atrocious boss fight. Like I said, Woodman 2 shots or 3 shots if you have the fire power up. I don't think it's super hard without that, but everyone knows you need the fire to burn the wood guy. But there are power-ups in Mega Man, but you can, if you go first to Woodman stage, I don't know, maybe it's super challenging, maybe I should try it. There's still checkpoints. Then you lose all your lives and you have to start at the beginning, that's true. You know, there's a boom boom fight is what the boss is. I tried so hard to smuggle a POW out of that section, it does not work. There's no way to get it up. You can't carry him up the vine. And you can't throw him up either. All this stuff not bad, not super hard. You know, there's a lot of waiting, but it's not terrible, and I actually do this pretty fast. None of this stuff killed me very often, maybe once in a while. This part's not too bad, but the next room I got killed quite a few times. Because walking down these stairs, you can really mess up. Yeah, you want to jump over that Magic Koopa. The last one, if you just jump over him, it's done. After that, I don't even remember this part of the stage, to be honest, the original stage. I was trying to figure it out. I remember the robot wolves. I remember the actual, I mean, I understand what he's going for. Checkpoint in that room, motherfucker. Yeah, there's so much going on in this room. But maybe my biggest complaint is that Boom Boom is a little bit RNG. And, you know, I am beating it on this life, but I did die here like maybe 20 times. I don't know. But you go through that whole stage to die to Boom Boom, then you have to go all through it again. And that is atrocious. That is terrible, terrible, terrible design. When you're just watching this one life, I guess it probably looks pretty easy, but that Boom Boom fight was a pain. Yeah, if you hit him, you have to hit him once, twice. You can't just camp on him like you can when he's just alone. After you hit him twice, he bounces around like crazy. The guy gives him room to move, and I swear to God, I would jump at him, and he would move out of the way and then kill me. The last level, I would have liked to not just show the clear on this one, because it's a Kaizo level. It's a pretty decent level, but it's unfair in a lot of ways, especially the second section. This first room is, the first half of it is kind of like a ROM hack type of level. Keeping up with the platform. Blue platforms on rails is the theme here. This first part's not too bad. It only took me like maybe 10 minutes. I did die a lot though. Muncher hitboxes are a bitch. I don't like these flying guys killed me a lot and then the up pipe. But I hit every single Muncher on that first part. The second part, which I'm gonna flash to right now, you have to activate both of these blue platforms and move it. These Koopas killed me so many times, and it's so hard to estimate when you're supposed to run. That's the biggest problem I had with the stage. A lot of the rest of it's not that bad, but I think I died to those Koopas so many times. Eventually, I booted it because it was just annoying. There's no way to judge it. You want to slam on this guy and toss him because we need to turn this. There's pretty tight platforming here. I also don't like this part coming up with these munchers above you because it's really hard to judge where those munchers are. And I died a lot there too. You see the second blue platform, the first blue platform is gone. Second one picked up a couple of munchers. They dropped them in front of that pipe. Which is, it's pretty funny when you get up there and that platform drops those guys. And you're like, oh shit. There's nothing I can do. Right here, I'm not collecting any of these big coins because I'm terrified that I'm gonna fall. That really took me a lot of lives, that second section. First section, like I said, maybe 10 minutes. Second section, probably like 50 minutes. It was about an hour. Yeah, I think the video was 53 minutes or something like that. So maybe a little less than 50, 45 minutes. Yeah, if you've made it this far, thanks so much for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. I will see you next week, and hopefully we have one more 2020 video at least. They're going fast though. I might have to do new soup sometime.